Jake Paul is set to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix's first ever live sporting event. While this is set to be one of the most historic boxing events ever, Mike Tyson is 30 years past his prime and has spent the last few years smoking weed, doing podcasts, and this.
I can't. We're heating up. Oh, he's going to be chewing for a sec. You'll be digging a gram out for the next couple hours.
With such an impossible task ahead, I'm going to list the 5 things Mike Tyson needs to do to beat Jake Paul. Number 1, he needs to really fight smart, right? And what do I mean by this? Mike Tyson, first of all, has to control the ring, right? That is the number 1 important thing, which is something that Mike Tyson is good at. He's good at being aggressive. Jake Paul will almost definitely be going backwards. I think Mike Tyson is going to be really aggressive in this fight, seeing that's really his only main fighting style. And I think Jake is underestimating Mike Tyson. I think Jake thinks he could legitimately easily outbox Mike Tyson, and him outboxing Mike Tyson is probably the worst thing I think he could do. The best way Jake could fight him is to honestly meet fire with fire and just knock him out. Of course, I mean behind a jab and just doing it safely, not just recklessly throwing in the pocket. But Mike Tyson needs to really, get that ring control. Use side-to-side movement. Don't just follow Jake Paul. Cut off the ring so Jake can't go anywhere. Mike Tyson needs to feint. Really get Jake Paul worried about what Mike is going to throw. Let Jake throw first. Move backwards and counter with a big shot of his own. This will leave Jake open for shots when he throws and overextends, and Mike Tyson can counter him and really hurt him. Number 2, Mike Tyson needs to intimidate Jake Paul. Now, Mike Tyson was known at one point to be one of the most scariest men alive, and just from the look at him, you knew that he was going to knock out somebody in the first round. But Mike Tyson needs to start planting seeds of doubt in Jake's head, and this applies to the press conferences, the face-to-faces, the weigh-in. Really get in Jake Paul's face and let him know, hey, you're legit about this. Mind games can be important. Why? Because, look, if you're more intimidated by an opponent, right, if you feel a little bit more worried about the power coming at you, you are more likely to go backwards, which if Jake Paul is going forward, it is over for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson really needs to get Jake Paul a little reckless, get him worried about the shots coming, and get him disoriented. Maybe Mike should even try faking his power early, going light with shots, and then boom, hit Jake Paul with an unexpected hard shot. Number 3, countering the jab. Jake's hand placement can be pretty low, right? As you can see, a lot of times he throws a jab, throws a right hand, and one of his hands will be down, which is a big no-no, especially in boxing. Some guys can get away with it with their technique and speed, but seeing that Jake Paul is going to be bigger than he ever has, he might be slower, he might not be as good as reacting. And Jake Paul needs to really work on his defense, especially now that he's using like this weird Philly shell type style that he's just absolutely failing at. Like, he keeps getting hit with shots like this. I mean, look at the Tommy Fury fight, he got hit with a lot of shots that way. And if Mike is really in trouble and Jake is starting to go for the kill, I guarantee you Jake might have one of his hands a little bit lower, so if Mike Tyson throws there, that might be a Hail Mary shot. Like, it is open. Number 4, wait for the later rounds. Jake Paul is known for cardio problems, right? He struggled against Tyron Woodley, he struggled against Tommy Fury, he even struggled against Nate Diaz. And the big question mark for me in this category is Mike Tyson's conditioning, right? He is 60 years old. How good is he? I don't think at that age you could train as much as you're supposed to for a pro fight. But if Mike Tyson is pushing Jake Paul back, right, and Jake is gonna have to use that side-to-side movement, just keep anticipating shots coming at him, he's gonna get tired a lot faster than normal, especially seeing he's bigger. Like I said before, he's heavier than he's ever been. This could all result in Jake Paul getting tired by like round 4, round 5, round 6, especially seeing he's underestimating Mike Tyson. We could see a slower, lazier Jake Paul with his form get caught with shots from a 6-year-old Mike Tyson and get knocked out. That's very possible. It all depends on how much Mike Tyson, really ups the pace early on. The 5th and final thing Mike Tyson needs is a time machine, because he is not going to beat Jake Paul. I respect Mike Tyson so much, but in my opinion, he stands no chance against Jake. I really don't like this fight. Mike Tyson is literally 60 years old, and a few months ago, this fight was canceled because of a medical emergency on Mike Tyson's part. I have no doubt that this is probably a result from highly training at that age. You're not supposed to be doing all that at that age. Plus, when you consider the damage Mike Tyson has already received in his career, this is a pro fight, guys. This isn't a work. To be honest, I think Jake Paul is looking at this fight saying, look, we're gonna go to distance. I'm gonna outbox Mike Tyson. I'm gonna beat the 6-year-old, and everybody's gonna be happy. It's gonna be just a fun little event. I don't think Jake Paul has such bad intentions going into this fight, but I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. I promise you guys. I think we're gonna see Mike Tyson be really aggressive early on in round 1, and Jake Paul just not know what to do, because Jake Paul doesn't want to knock out Mike Tyson, and the only way Mike Tyson is going to back out is if Jake Paul gives him something to worry about, right? Hit him with some power shots, and if he hits him with some power shots, we could easily see Mike Tyson get knocked out. And I think Jake Paul cares way too much about being perceived as a totally awful guy, being the guy that would knock out Mike Tyson. I don't think he's gonna do that. And Mike Tyson's boxing style is going to be hard to outbox because he is so aggressive. He's going to have the ring control, and if Jake Paul is really trying to get this to go to a decision and he's not throwing punches, Mike Tyson could easily gain some rounds. And Mike Tyson is going to go forward, right? I just don't think he's gonna have the reflexes to avoid the shots from Jake Paul, and I think he might run into something and get really hurt, guys. I think this is going to be a really bad look for boxing, and I think he's gonna try to throw something to get the respect from Mike Tyson, leading to a devastating knockout. That's what I think. If you guys want a preview of the fight, check out Evander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort a few years ago. That that fight was incredibly sad for boxing fans. And yeah, I think that is going to be a very similar outcome. I don't think this fight is going to be the spectacle people think it's going to be. I think it's just going to leave people feeling sad at the end, right? I think if Mike wins, it's going to be if he can catch Jake. And yes, he could absolutely catch Jake. Anything is possible. But I just think it's not a question of if Mike Tyson can catch Jake, is if Mike Tyson can catch Jake before Jake catches him. And that becomes a lot more unlikely. I think the Texas Athletic Commission should be ashamed of themselves for sanctioning this fight. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, boxing, and all of combat sports. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next one.